Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 110 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me are my players.
Hello, my name is Ben, and I will be playing the level 6 gnome wizard Winsler Wallaby, along with his cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles.
Meowa.
Christopher Walken, how did you get here?
Hey everyone, it's me, Carla, and I play the level 6 Tiefling Roguelocke. I said that right this time. Integrity, Idleberry. And this is my song for today. Pop, corn, machine, nuh-uh, Fernance. This is so bad. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be from that
Listen,
musical.
It's from the heart, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it was about all the things you loved, which was
My favorite
popcorn
musical.
machine.
Popcorn machine and Ferdinand.
Yeah, popcorn, machine.
I think it's great.
Nuh-uh, Ferdinand, salty. But better.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
Think of Jailhouse Rock.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marishan, the level 6 half-elf bard. It's time to meet a frog, snake, and weasel. And wait, can we have more pets? Is that what the conclusion of this arc is?
And my name is Sam, and I play the level 6 human sorceress, Serenep Cinderman, who is now questioning the many different ways to care for one's nails.
Oh.
I still can't believe you guys didn't want to fucking give yourself a goddamn fingernail. Like, what the
What
hell?
do you-
I'm
what
not
damage
is it
giving
to you?
for any
Fingernail?
of that shit. Nothing
What
that
damage
is
is it
linked
to
to
you?
my
don't have
DNA is
fingernails.
allowed
I
within that
couldn't
woman's
do it.
grasp.
Not even one.
Firmly
Not
grasp
even
it.
And last time on Trials and Trebuchets,
Oh.
the students attempted to respect the traditions of Isithil by doing their guest check-in with the second eldest, Golapedra. However, they found the massive centipede absent and the speaker for the first on a conference call. Receiving the message, "Leave us now," the students called it job done and went to get some shopping and kidnapping instructions from the pot-stirring woods witch, Celti. A deal was struck. If they got Ferdinand the Marsh Witch back before midnight, they would be square for the angel tier, and Celti would even throw in the popcorn machine for free. No fingernails required. So, that is the kind of place in which we find ourselves. You have just left Celti's store. You pulled yourselves in the little wash tub raft back towards the shore and proceeded on your way to Moistest Marsh past the moles. To set the scene for you all so that you can just get away from, escape into the world of fantasy and weird animal talking creatures and giant neon trees
So anime.
of anime. There is this snow falling from the sky. It almost is, like Technicolor snow, and falling, it looks like little static sparkling in the air, just these hundreds of different shades of different colors falling to the ground and making this almost this mosaic of weird different colored flakes of snow as it falls. The trees, most of them are bare of leaves at this point, and are just standing tall and bare. They're like green or purple bark, just cold in this autumn day. There are pink and yellow swirls far in the sky above as the first eldest Shinpem does little figure eights in the sky, or like circles and cool flying tricks, as one might if you were a large blue scaled kind of serpentine dragon with tons of feet and cool antlers. You would also be doing cool tricks in the air if you were that kind of thing, or at least I would.
Do a flip.
I
don't actually say that. I'm just saying that now.
And as you walk on this uneven ground towards Moistest Marsh past the moles, I have a couple questions. One is, who is navigating?
I have the navigation stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then can you roll me a survival check with advantage, because you've done this a lot. A couple times at least. You know your way around Isithil. This is like home turf advantage for Winsler.
Survival?
Survival.
21.
Ooh, damn. That is the fucking rockingest you've ever rolled to navigate. The combined knowledge of you having been here a couple times, of you having the navigation or the map that was provided in your backpack, the compass provided in your backpack, as well as, if you recall, Winsler, you have a map of Isithil that you had scribed from Fairmel the last time you were here. That is
Correct.
quite detailed, if a little out of date. On it is Moistest Marsh past the... on it, there is a section that's labeled as Moistest Marsh, but the past the moles part has been excluded for some reason or another. And then on the other chart, it does say Moistest Marsh past the moles. It's fairly simple to navigate to by your understanding. It might take 3 or so hours. What are you all thinking about? Do you all talk about this? You're just coming straight off of the conversation that you just had with Celti about grabbing Ferdinand, getting back here in 24 hours. So if there's anything you wanted to discuss about that whole business, I would say now is the time. Or other stuff that you might have seen while you've been in Isithil, for example.
I don't think Serena would be thinking about too much. Like, she dealt with the stress of going into the large tree, didn't have to face Golpedra, which was very nice for her. And tried to have a conversation with a bunch of gods, which was interesting. I think in her head right now, she's just thinking like, man, would it be useful to like learn this new, like, is that something I can easily find information on to like learn to speak? And then she starts thinking about like the voice she heard when they fought Nesca, and she's like, well, I mean, like, I've tried to contact, I haven't heard anything back. Maybe I have to learn this language and maybe try and talk to that voice again. Maybe like learning the language will make it an easier barrier for us to understand each other. Like, because like she's been wondering what that was, obviously. Like, she's not gonna just like forget about that. But like, it hasn't been a successful attempt.
Yeah, to remind everyone of that, just in case they don't remember, when you were fighting Nesca and she used her the power of the orb in her forehead and made you revere her for a moment, and you heard a voice speaking into your head. Yeah.
I recall that.
Yeah.
What happened?
Interesting. Okay.
Scared.
What about the rest of you? Y'all got any outstanding conversations y'all want to have?
Winsler,
Yes.
just kind of out of curiosity, this whole like plan thing, like are we doing this? Like, what like, I know this is your thing, and like I'm not gonna like, but are we like
I mean, I kind of did sign a contract,
yeah.
so I kind of have to do this, but Celti did kind of seem a little cuckoo.
Unhinged.
Yeah, a little bit.
Unhinged, you might say. I don't know what her reason is for hating this Ferdinand lady, but maybe she's probably not all bad. I'm thinking maybe once we meet them, maybe things will change. I don't know.
I
At least
mean,
like talk to
okay.
them, get an idea of their personality before we, because like if they're nicer than Celti, no offense to Celti, but if if they don't ask for my fingernails, that'd be a good plus.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just not sure how involved I want to be if I don't know exactly what Celti's reason is. What if it's just like such a really petty fight? What if Ferdinand is actually a good witch? And Celti's a character. And then I'm going to look at my nails, and she's like, she wanted my nails. Well, not my nails, but she wanted nails. She took part of your soul. So I don't know how good her character is.
Well, that's why we have to talk to Ferdinand and kind of get a read on their character, that sort of thing. Like, because think about it. If we have two, like, witches in the area and they have a beef with each other, wouldn't you want to be on the side of, like, the nicer one?
I mean, we
Like,
can
we're
just
just
This is
the
a
one that-
musical witch.
we can always
Not
just
saying that
ask her
Celti's
what her
evil.
story
Celti
is.
seems kind of
amoral.
Yeah. Like,
Nice at first, but then once you really get to know them, you really start to see the cracks.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but if we do meet Ferdinand and she turns out to be not a bad person and Celty is just like petty or whatever, like what do we do?
Well, I don't think. Well, here's the issue. If we don't do what Celty wants, or at least Winsler, if you don't do what she wants, she has parts of your being at this point. Like, we don't know what would happen if we don't.
Doesn't
like,
have-
could she?
Celty
hurt-
doesn't get Winsler's soul until he dies of natural causes.
Has to be natural.
Yup.
Hear me out.
Celty sends a meteor
So
storm.
if someone
into the
kills
Mars.
me,
Technically, that's nature.
if I get stabbed, that's not a natural cause.
Well,
Winsler, we're not going to
arguable.
stab you.
Unless the knife falls.
Yeah, the knife falls from a
From the
knife
sky.
tree.
From a knife tree.
So basically, a final
do exist
destination
here.
You guys-
happens
you guys are
where
walking
you cheated
past-
death.
yeah.
This is good. So you kind of have this conversation. Serenap says, "Oh, well, it doesn't have Winsler's like part of Winsler, blah blah blah." And then the topic of what does natural death mean? And then as you're walking through these large trees, you see one of them probably like a couple feet to your left or right, just start shaking, like violently shaking, like you can see the soil around its roots just like start to like let go of the actual tree itself, and it almost starts to like pull itself up out of the earth. And you look at this tree and it looks like it almost sneezes, I guess. Like just it very suddenly just jerks forwards and like slants probably 45 degrees to like a 45-degree angle, and then every single tree every single leaf on this tree immediately just fall in a heap on the ground on top of all of you as you're talking about this concept, and probably a couple branches and stuff too. Makes dexterity saves.
Oh
So
no!
if you get
natural
so if
cause
you get a
of
tree
death.
cold and die from the tree cold, does that count as a natural death?
Oh shit! I have +5 to dexterity.
What the fuck?
19.
What the fuck?
Right?
What do I have in anything with dexterity? When's the last time I used
Well, I
dexterity?
have +2, and then I'm proficient in them.
I got 18.
Oh wow.
Oh,
My
okay.
dexterity saving is +6.
Oh,
Nice.
What did you get, Winsler?
I got an 11. This is where I die.
I got a 5.
Uh-oh.
Goodbye, Sarah. Now we hardly knew ye. Oh, please don't laugh like that. I just.
I don't like that he's pulling out
Don't open
the
a monster.
manual.
A monster manual. All this for a knife tree joke.
Like, really?
This is not a monster manual.
like the.
You silly gooses.
I don't know what you're pulling out. I just see a D&D book with illustrations
Yeah,
and
that's
little tabs. I tend to assume it's a monster manual with you.
That's intentional.
It's a cutler
Wow.
leaf.
Wow.
It's Treebeard.
Oh no. We're gonna get copyrighted.
I need a different book. I need this one that's already open over here, called the Monster
The
Manual.
tree sneezes, and then
Yeah, I fucking
to
knew
wipe
it.
its nose, it pulls out a cease and desist.
Oh.
Cutlery. Cutler ent.
Okay, Ben.
What is happening?
I don't know.
We're about to die.
Yeah, we're about to
Here we
we're
are.
about to
Perfect.
get crushed.
Well, wait. No, wait. What did you roll?
Who? Who are you asking?
19.
So you'll live. Ben has a good chance of living. Maybe
I rolled an 11.
Carla, what did you get?
16.
I feel like.
We are both going to die.
Why is it always us?
Sorry, what did Serenap
Unfortunate
get?
happenstance.
No one got below 10, though, right? Or Serenap
Me.
got below 10. Oh, Serenap got
I
below
got a
10.
5.
Oh, perfect stuff.
Uh-oh.
Okay, sorry.
She
for
gets a
the delay.
cold.
So,
Tree cold.
Winsler,
Cold.
a large stick falls on you, and you take 4 points of damage, please.
Bonk.
Serenaph, again, large sticks fall on you. It's almost like Serenaph breaks the Serenaph as the highest point, kind of like it hits her first and then bounces out of the way so it doesn't really hit anyone else. Please take only 3 points of bludgeoning damage as a couple of large sticks fall and break upon your back and then just scatter across
Ow.
the ground. The sticks seem very brittle, not much of a big deal. And as you get hit,
Ow.
Serenaph, you also feel like I guess you wouldn't feel this. The rest of you kind of like look over at your friend. You might ask her if she's okay, perhaps. Where you see this large, like, tree limb just struck her, and you see that on her head, like on the very top of her head, where it hit her on her hair, like the roots of her hair are now very, very bright green.
Is it
I'm the
sap?
Joker, baby.
Serenop, is there something on your head, or
I mean, there
is
was
there
a
a hair dye
branch.
tree? Are you no? There, like your hair is like green.
If
When do
I
you get a hair color?
take a single strand of hair and pull it out
Yeah.
and look at it, would I
Yeah.
see it?
Oh, if you pull a single strand of hair from your head, patonk, you see that the probably base inch of hair, like straight from your head, the first inch is like
Yeah.
bright green, like neon green.
I will also conjure up
What?
a small hand mirror and hand it to Serenip.
Yeah, you hand the small glowing mirror to Serenep. Serenep, you look at yourself in your reflection, and you're just glowing because of the state of this thing. But yeah, you see that the roots of your hair are now this bright green, similar in color to the tree bark itself, actually.
I hope this doesn't have any like repercussions later.
I don't think she says anything. I think she's just kind of just staring at herself in the mirror.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it looks
And
good on
after
you.
a couple of seconds, she's gonna hand the mirror back to Winsler,
Mhm.
and she's gonna look over at the tree. What's it doing right now?
The tree, it seems to just be hanging at that 45-degree angle. The branches are drooping slightly. You would all notice, since you're now knee deep in leaves, that they seem to be like rotting very quickly.
Wouldn't if it's
Yeah.
knee deep for them, wouldn't it be like up to my up to my
It's like
chin instead?
To the
It would go
bottom
up
of
to
your
like
chin.
their
It's to the
blossom
bottom
leaves.
of your chin, Winsler.
Ew.
Yeah, but they're like these different colored, like pink and yellow and red leaves, and they're just turning like they're turning dark brown very quickly and just getting all crinkly and rotting, like
Ew.
the same way leaves would do regularly in the prime-material plane, but just in an expedited 30-second process. Yeah.
Can I investigate what just happened there? Like, why did the tree all of a sudden just topple over like that?
Give me a nature check. You can all give me nature checks if this is something that interests you.
Sure.
Oh my god, nat 20. Plus,
Ooh.
where's my nature? Where is it? There it is. 21.
I got 10.
11.
That is
11
a 14.
out of 14. Okay. The rest of you kind of like think, how would the rest of you like approach this situation of like, what happened here? Winsler, you're chin deep in fucking leaves that are dying. So like, that's fine. You're like, wow, these things sure are dying really fast and getting real crunchy. Serenep, you're still concerned primarily with the roots of your hair, trying to maybe see if it's just like something that like got stuck on there, like a sap or something, and it doesn't seem so. Like there's a bit of sticky sap on the top of your head, but that wouldn't account for all of your hair. Essentially, the roots turning green. Integrity.
I'm going to try and move the tree with my feet.
You walk up to this already bent at an angle tree and kind of like kick it with your feet. It's immense in size. It shakes a little bit. Probably a couple sticks fall off near the top, but that's nowhere near you. It seems to just be getting old. Mira, you kind of stop for a second and take this all in, standing in these leaves and like looking around. You probably see like within the span of a couple seconds, very quietly off in the distance, 2 or 3 other trees. This just happens to you see them start shaking and then bend at an angle and like almost sneeze all their leaves off. It seems to just be something like passing of the seasons, and this is just the Isithil way.
Okay.
And so the leaves are falling. This Technicolor snow is falling, and you all carry on your fun path to the marsh.
Past the moles.
If I can just ask,
Yeah.
can I? These are secretly the moles the entire time. Can I like do like a check on myself? Like, is there like a magic now encrusted on like my scalp, or is this like?
Do you have detect magic?
Do I not sense anything? Yeah, I don't have. Wait, no. I mean, like, I guess an Arcana check just to be like, what would I?
I'm going to tell you because I think that you might have this. Who has the? Did anyone write down what pack they took? Because there would be something to be handy here that I can point in you. In the
I
direction
did.
of.
I got like the dowsing rods and the
Yes.
magic.
Okay, so in
detector
that
and stuff
case,
like that.
Serenep, you have in your pack that little dowsing rod is like an Arcana meter, which allows you to cast detect magic 3 times a day.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna
How very handy.
like just because like family's coming soon. I don't know how it would go if they showed up and my hair was
Yes.
like a bright green.
Yeah.
How
Just
rebellious.
So you're gonna pull out this stick from your backpack and kind of like point it at your head, I guess, and cast detect magic.
Yes.
Okay. From your head, you sense a very, very, very like from all around. There's this strong nature magic that's just in everything, right? Like almost like flowing through everything, like blood, for lack of a better word. But coming from your head, on top of the throbbing pain, there also seems to be a slight, just a smidgen of this very intense nature magic on top of the arcane energy flowing already through your sorcerer body. You got a little magic on the top now, like a little cherry.
Would I be able to tell if this is a temporary or long-term, I guess, enchantment or
Give me an
like-
arcane check. Give me an
Sure.
arcana check for that one.
Give me a cane.
Give me a cane. So yeah, this is happening as you all walk on, I suppose. Trudging on these roots.
Come on, Arcana. One of my better
in the cold.
skills is I can't count. Shit. 23.
Okay. It seems to be something that is removable, but is, despite that, permanent, if that makes sense. It's meant to be something which is permanent, but that you can remove, like a glue,
Okay.
right?
Like a glue.
So you can take efforts to remove glue and other sticky things, but most of the time, glue is intended to be a permanent adherent.
Is it just on my head or is it like any kind of hair, like eyebrows and...
No, it's just on your head.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you all walk along as Serenep dowsing rods herself and then does a couple of like, is this permanent? My parents probably going to be pretty angry if I dyed my hair.
If this was after
and-
they had visited, that would be fine, but like, they can't see this.
And Winsler, you leading the way, arrive at a large clearing of trees where the ground starts to kind of like slope upwards and this hiking through the woods gets a little bit more difficult, but not like intensely so. It's not like you're climbing a cliff or anything significant like that. It just seems to be like a pretty noticeable incline in the land. And you see that the roots kind of vanish from underfoot, which makes the walking easier and less like hard on your feet themselves, as well as like a lot of the trees appear to be cut down as you enter into this kind of sandy, cleared out area where you can see that it just like is sloping up. It's this bright yellow sand. There's a very distinct path on the ground here, almost like it's a well-traveled path, which is very nice and easy for navigation. And there's these large, probably like 8-foot holes that look like have been bored into the ground all around, like covering this sandy field.
I wonder what could be past here.
Would you like to look around, or are you guys just very concerned about getting on with things?
Considering that we took on the additional task of being back before midnight, I would like to be as swift as possible.
Yeah.
You really want a popcorn machine,
Maybe.
don't you?
Well, it's not me. I don't really need the popcorn machine, but Integrity might want the popcorn machine.
I do want the popcorn machine.
Well, there we go. There's your answer.
So is the group consensus that we're not gonna check this stuff out? We're just gonna skedaddle.
She's gonna skedaddle.
Yeah, not right now.
Maybe later.
Okay. Perfect. So as you all walk along this sandy path and kind of agree that if we have time, we'll check this out at a later date, right? Winsler might come back here on some sort of midnight walk through the woods, as he presumably enjoys doing on his own. Seeing as he has a direct line of transport from Wildcliff in there, he doesn't even have to go through conventional
That
means
is
anymore. He
totally
just has
safe
portable...
to have.
I am not bound by conventional means of transportation.
Out from the holes in the ground, pop up you see on the path in front of you, as you're walking and like walking with some speed, I would assume, you see 2 large mounds of earth begin to be pushed up, almost like something is about to pop out from the ground here in the path.
Oh.
Are you going to stop, or are you going to hurry on
We continue
and try to
we do
make it
not stop.
across before it pops up? It's probably like 60 feet in front of you.
We shouldn't stop. We were told not to stop.
I
I keep going.
Were we told not to stop?
We were told just to pass them.
They said that if you find anything scary, to just run away.
Fun.
That's true.
So you're gonna run.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
team
look at
hurry.
that tree way
Yeah,
over
look
there.
at
Let's
this.
watch that
Team
for a
hurry,
while.
let's go.
I'm going to start running, and I'm going to be like, a volcano's forming. A volcano's forming behind us.
Greatest fear.
So you
Oh
all,
no, the floor is lava.
you all rush forwards and try to make it over this like little mounds of earth that seem to be like pop, 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 like as if something's pushing out of the ground here.
Like a Mario Kart.
Very distinctly 2 large, like in Mario Kart.
Moo Moo Meadows
What?
What in Mario
had
Kart?
the moles underground.
Oh,
They would come up and you had to
yes.
like drive
Yeah,
over
like a
them.
Like
little
Moo Moo
bird.
Meadows
like in
from Mario
Mario
Kart.
Kart, where the bulls throw at the ground. How astute! And yeah, you all rush past. I don't think this is difficult. I don't think this requires a skill check. You guys are just hurrying, and as you get over the threshold of this erupting earth, up, popping from the ground with almost like an explosive force, are 2 large pink moles.
Oh my god, they're
I knew it.
pink. Like,
Rufus.
Rufus.
where's Ron? Where's a
Just to be
giant
clear,
Ron?
They're not naked mole rats. they're
Or are
they're
they?
like star-nosed moles, and they're very cute.
Oh.
Yeah. And they just have this yellow fur. Anywhere where like regularly on the material plane they would have that pinky flesh colored skin, and no black fur. It's like bright red, and then their actual fur itself is this hot pink, like flamingo colored.
Damn, beautiful.
Ooh.
And as you all rush past them, are you gonna stop, or are you just gonna keep running past?
I'm gonna keep going. Like,
Okay. You hear
Yeah, no,
you hear
same.
one of them call out to you and say, "Excuse me, if you're gonna run through Mount Mole Baron, you gotta stop and pay the toll, the mole toll."
The mole
There's a
toll. Okay,
what?
no, we gotta get out of here. The mole toll.
did anyone else hear about a mole toll before we came here? Because I don't remember this.
No.
No.
I think they just made that up. Let's just hurry.
And the other
I
one,
don't have money. I don't have money to
By
use.
moles.
the other one who's like shorter and wider will yell out at you and say, "If you don't pay the mole toll, the Mole King Terramancino will hunt you down and
We'll pay it on our way back.
make a persuasion check."
A 13 plus 7, 20.
Okay.
Sarah's rolling is on a
Sarah's
roll
roll
today.
is really good.
It was really bad last episode, so I'm happy about this.
The swing happens.
The good karma.
Yeah.
It's real.
So you yell this over your shoulder at these 2 moles standing here in the middle of in the middle of this field, and you see the tall one kind of turn to the shorter one and go, "Descato is a pretty good deal," and the small one will be like, "Shut up! If you pay it on the way back, and we won't hang you from your feet and beat it out of you."
Oh my god.
These
my
moles
gosh.
are fucking aggro.
Jesus.
You don't step in the sovereign territory of Mount Mole Baron without paying the toll. You hear them yell at you as you run away.
Are
Let's
we
go
actually?
another way back, right?
Yeah,
like just kind of circle
we'll see if
around.
we can go around.
But hear me out. If we
Yeah,
come back
I
here
mean, look
later
at
on
your
and they're
map.
waiting for us,
Yeah, that's fair.
I
Let's see how much time we have when we get back.
Yeah.
I really can't afford to pay more stuff. I own Mirandine 20 gold coins.
wait,
Oh,
what?
you think that's bad,
Yeah,
huh?
sorry about that.
And I'm just gonna keep on walking.
Okay, you guys kind of like put
You're
your
not.
heads
You're
down.
not.
and
You're
keep-
not the one with almost 1,000 gold in debt to
That's
the
true.
school.
Oh my god, what is happening? And I owe something to golems. I don't know how much it costs for a student to
Was
just
learning
not.
integrity just like being in debt?
Everyone owes something.
Yeah, Mira, did
One
you
or more
pay the
items.
money
I
for your
own-
arm?
Yeah.
Okay, did you have that money on you?
I don't know. You never told me how much it cost.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
we'll figure that out sometime.
I mean, I'm
before.
assuming
I have
that
120
either the
gold
school
pieces
paid for
here
it
at the school.
because the school.
I've bought
because
nothing.
Injury happened on school grounds.
I bought something in Lightmere. I don't think I've ever made a single other purchase on this podcast, so I still have all my money from the start.
I would argue that Mira's arm should have been paid for by the school.
Yes.
Because it occurred during a field trip and there's insurance there.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, you're right, but this is a shitty school, so they're not going to do it.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys-
willing to sell more
A
of
field
my
trip to the sewers.
jewelry if non-sentimental jewelry or whatever.
You guys
for
can-
No,
like,
I have
helps,
parents.
but, like-
I have parents, y'all.
You guys can have
No,
that,
no, I meant the mole, the mole tab.
The mole toll.
Yeah.
You guys can have
You
that
just gotta figure out how much
conversation.
it
Throw
costs.
jewelry at them.
Y'all can have that conversation.
Hey
about,
yo, if you don't pay the
uh,
mole toll, we're gonna hang you by your legs and we're gonna beat the shit
Why
out
are you
of you.
still following us?
Oh my gosh, integrity is going to be like so angry for Mira if they're like, "Oh yeah, my parents paid for it," and then I'm just like, Why?
Anyways, so you
Student
all
rights.
rush past this, up this sandy slope. It's almost like a little hill. They were calling it Mount Mole Baron, but it seems to be a little hill and not so much of a mountain or anything. And
Don't
you
make a
can-
mountain out of a molehill.
and you can you can I don't know what you're talking about. I never use wordplay to inspire my stupid choices in world building. And you guys can rush on over this Mount Mole Baron, and on the other side, it probably takes you 45 minutes or so to pop on over here. You don't go like over the top of it. You kind of like go up a little bit and then like around the side, and then you see down in like a recessed little valley below, surrounded on this kind of western side by this large sandy molehill, and then on the other sides by like these very tall, thickly grown trees, you see a very, very marshy looking marshy. You see a very moist looking marsh. There's the
Lives up
path.
to the name.
The path. This sandy path leads gently down into it. A note would be that the snow landing here probably makes it a bit difficult to go down as opposed to coming up, just because it's kind of slippery, you know? But as you descend, you see that there is like this boardwalk structure kind of raised up from the marsh surface. This marsh itself is like this deep red color, and then any water that you can see, like the little streams running through it, are like a dark, deep green, similar to what you would see in a like algae filled pond back at home, right? Like that kind of like deep green. That's the color of all the water, and it seems to be very murky. But there's this red grass, and this boardwalk or like wooden path seems to be raised up probably 10 or 12 feet from the actual marsh surface itself. And as you kind of walk up to the edge of the marsh and where you would actually start to step onto that boardwalk, there's a kind of arch with a sign on it that says Moistest Marsh. And you can enter into this lovely, lovely place. There's this stink that kind of fills your nose of just like brine almost. Like it smells really salty and wet in here. It's like almost assaulting you. The colors...
Assaulting.
The colors almost seem muted compared to the rest of Isithil, I think. And as you take a first step onto this boardwalk, it seems very shoddily built. like the large
Uh-oh.
poles that hold it high above the marsh surface, like kind of you can see them bow and bend a little bit as you walk. The boards themselves,
Oh,
the
I
boards
don't like
themselves
that.
have a bit of rot to them and seem to be like intermittently placed. It doesn't seem to be some sort of very well made thing, but it looks like it gets the job done. Looking around off at the far end of the marsh, you can see there's a lot of torchlight and little raised what look like huts and stuff above the marsh surface. In the middle of the marsh, notably, there looks to be a big pile of broken twigs or broken tree trunks piled with mud and grasses and other stuff. There's these windows slit or these wooden slit windows that you can see some light coming out. It looks almost like a big beaver lodge.
Beavers.
And then almost like off in some secluded corner off to your right. So the marsh makes kind of like a U-ish shape, right? And so off to like your right kind of area. The U isn't the perfect, almost like a hockey stick would probably be a better way of describing the shape. And so off to your right, there seems to be like this not very well lit area. You can see a lot of standing water over there. You can see some water kind of like pouring out of holes in the molehill itself, almost like sewage drains, pipes that drain out into like a harbor. Like there's just these holes in the side of this sandy hill that they have a bit of water trickling out of them into the marsh itself. And lighting up this place are these small pulsating spheres of light. And they're not super close to the boardwalk, but they do seem to be like they're probably like 6 or 7 feet around the boardwalk, and they kind of look almost like moths drawn to a flame and seem to be like flocking around you all when you walk into this marsh.
That sounds beautiful.
It is beautiful. They're all different yellowy and blue colors, and it's just lovely to look at. Make a wisdom saving throw, Integrity, since you're admiring them.
Oh.
Oh no.
I got a 5.
Oh, shit.
So Integrity is bringing up the back of the pack, and you kind of stop in your tracks for a second, just staring at these pulsating lights. And they're almost like that area that I described where the water is coming out of the molehill into like that standing pond of water. It's almost like they're beckoning you, like pulsing and blinking at you. And it's just so mesmerizing. You can't help but just like slip under the railing of the little boardwalk here and plop down into the marsh itself. You all hear this wet squelch as your friend drops into the marsh. You sink Integrity probably up to your just below your knees maybe, and you just like feel mesmerized, and you just want to keep walking towards that far off corner, and you probably make it 10 feet before like you all hear this squelch and see your friend walking with some haste towards this dismally lit corner. And as she is, an important note to make is that all of these little spheres of light kind of abandon floating around you. Like it was this cute little atmospheric, like, oh, it's like giant fireflies. But as soon as Integrity like hops down into the marsh itself, they just abandon you all and just surround Integrity. And almost like they're pushing her and beckoning her that way. What do you do?
Serenepth is going to... She's having a flashback right now. Last time this happened. She's going to walk... Because I'm guessing we walked a couple of feet ahead. She's going to go back a couple of steps to where she's like... To like where she is and where Integrity is. Like it's like a straight line. And she's going to yell out to her. And I'm guessing, like, does she get a response? Does she not get a response?
What do you say?
She's gonna yell.
Do you just go, Integrity?
Integrity, I have gold coins here. Come get it.
We got the popcorn machine.
3 easy steps to get rich fast.
Well, like she doesn't like she doesn't really expect what, like she doesn't suspect foul play is at hand. She thinks Integrity like fell.
Yeah.
So she's like, Integrity, what are you doing? Are you okay?
Integrity, you can respond if you want, but you're
Am
mesmerized by these lights.
Beautiful lights. Let me follow you.
Okay, wait, how high is the water for her?
So it's a marsh, so it's just like
Yeah,
grass
sorry.
and this moist mud. It comes up to probably like she's sinking into it, and like with every single step, you can just hear this squelch, squelch, squelch.
Your beauty is so captivating.
And it's just up to like under her knees.
She's
She's probably like 20 feet away now.
Serenep is going to cast Levitate and bring her out of the marsh.
She has to make a Constitution saving throw, if I recall.
Yes.
Okay, Integrity, please make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Hoo-hoo. I got a 15.
Why did you go, ooh, that's not good?
Oh.
Okay.
So that succeeds, or that beats your spell save, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay. So the spell does not seem to take hold of Integrity, and as she continues
Hell yeah,
to
15.
as she continues to wade
Oh, yeah.
out into
Hell yeah, 15. Oh, you're so
the marsh.
beautiful.
She's probably
Lights.
30 feet away now. The only thing that is like they're like flocking around her almost to the point where they're making like a perfect like spherical dome around her of just these pulsating lights. You can barely see your cousin standing in the middle anymore.
Okay.
Integrity, from your perspective, you're just surrounded by like almost like you're standing in the middle of a light show. Like, you know those little lamps that have they're a metal, so it'll be like a candle and then like a metal lamp with things cut out of it so that when you spin it, it like shines like a scene on like the walls. It's almost like you're in the middle of that, and it's just these rushing colors and beautiful images, and like you can almost imagine whatever you're willing to imagine in it, and it's just leading you forwards. I think
Beautiful.
Winsler was going to do
I
something.
have a
but,
plan,
what? Yeah.
and it is
Crazy.
a simple plan.
Love that band.
Mhm.
A great band.
Nice.
Dorks.
What is it? I'm gonna cast Produce Flame, and I'm going to launch it
Rep integrity.
directly at the dome of lights.
Well, it was nice
Okay.
knowing
Which
integrity
means
and having her as our
direct-
classmate.
direct
It was a really nice
integrity.
time. She died doing
We're
what she
gathered
loved.
here today.
Looking at pretty lights and burning to death.
I start playing taps on my phone again.
Make a attack, Ben.
Do the attack.
Integrity, what's your AC?
14.
I'm so
Okay.
good. I got an 8.
An
I rolled a 1.
Okay. So Sereneth is like frantically trying to like levitate.
Well, I guess
and pull
Integrity's
her
gonna
up
die
and-
now.
And calling.
Yo,
Winsler, like,
why?
you hold on to
You
this
just want me to
railing
die
that's
that
like
much?
this wooden pole railing is like right at eye level, and so you hold it and like might lean out underneath it and like and like try to yuck a little piece of fire off, but it like the unsteady footing that you have, like this kind of rickety rockety boardwalk, it just like is a bit too unsteady for you to get a proper throw in.
Okay.
So it's almost like you tie, like when you jump at the wrong time on a trampoline when people are trying to bounce you higher and you just like fall on your ass. Similar to that.
Why
you,
are
like,
we
throw it,
suddenly
it goes
so
like
bad
2
at
feet.
this?
Okay, let me try something. Does it look like this
Yeah.
is a spell?
We're going in
that's being put on there?
rotation.
It seems to be some sort of. It you can make a check, or you can just operate on the assumption.
I'm gonna
Your
cast
choice.
counter spell. I'm gonna try that.
Okay. Can you read that to me precisely?
It says on my notes that a spell that's level 3 or under fails as a reaction. If it's a 4th level spell or higher, it has to do a check that's DC 10 plus the level of the spell. I can find the actual like description.
I just want to know how it interacts with
quickly.
spell effects or like magical
The spell-
effects.
It says if the creature is casting a spell of 3rd level or lower, its spell fails and has no effect.
Okay. I think that I'll let that fly just because it's a good solution. And yeah, there's other things that could be done, but this is also good. So, like everyone, like Winslow is just like whiffing it. Seraph, you're panicking because your cousin is walking out into the marsh. What's the range on counterspell?
Ooh, good point. Let me check.
She's 60 feet away.
Yep, it's 60 feet.
Perfect.
Range is 60
God
feet.
bless.
Good. So, just at the very last minute, Mira, you just think to like counterspell it. How do you cast counterspell?
I think that I would like strum some notes on my lyre and like it would sort of like send kind of like a musical
No,
like
you.
like on sheet music how there's the I haven't played sheet music in a while, but the lines the lines on the sheet music.
You're gonna have to be a
I'm
little bit
so
more
out of-
specific.
Like the,
I'm
the
so
horizontal
out of
bars,
practice.
isn't it?
Yeah, the bars.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh my god, I'm so out of
You mean a
practice.
rest?
No,
No!
Ben, like the bars that the
On
notes
the-
go on, you goober, like the sheet music
Like
lines.
like the
Like the
5
lines.
lines.
Not the notes
like
themselves.
I'm
but,
just
like,
saying there's like so many fucking lines in sheet music. Are you, I mean, I
mean
know
the
I know
actual-
that they're collectively called
No.
bars.
The
Yeah, I mean the
bars,
actual
yeah.
bars. So I think that like sort of like a visual, like almost like a glowing representation of those bars, like shoots toward the spell and it just like kind of hits it and it just like deactivates it.
It like so this like musical magic just flies out and it collides with this little dome of light surrounding your friend, and it hits one of them and you just see it blink out of existence, like just gone, vanished, vamoose. And then
like
you
a power
see,
outage on a big city.
like a power outage on a big city, and then it spreads just like that, and they kind of like start to splurt out or like to like swarm away from her, and then as they swarm out and the magic crashes over them like a wave, they all just blink out like Christmas lights going out in sequence, right? Integrity, you are 60 feet away in the marsh. You fall down to your knees and you are free from this charm.
Integrity, get back over here.
In front of you, like probably like 10 feet in front of you,
Yes.
is a large, very deep looking pool of water that just has this dark green color.
Okay, I'm just gonna move away from that because I'm like, what? Why the heck am I here?
Yeah.
But that was very beautiful. Now it's gone, and I'm sort of upset about that. But I'm also like, why the heck am I in a pool of mud? But I'm gonna get back on the. I'm gonna get back on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all say anything to her?
Hey, are you good?
What the heck was that?
Did you not see the pretty lights? The pretty lights. They're like you know the lights that show up in the sky on certain days of the year, and it's just so mesmerizing. It's like purples and yellows and oranges. It's like that, but it's just for me. It's literally right there, right in front of my very eyes, 1 feet away.
I mean, yeah, we saw the lights, but we didn't jump off a bridge.
Well, I didn't know I jumped off a bridge.
You're
I would
too busy
put my
looking at
hands
the
on
light.
Integrity's
I
shoulders.
think we're all good now.
I would put my hands on Integrity's shoulders and turn her towards where we were walking, and she's just gonna like
Yeah.
guide her a couple of steps before she takes her hands off and
Okay.
like starts
Yeah.
walking again.
So now Integrity is in the center of the pack to be watched in case of anything.
I'm sorry.
Just don't scare me like that, please.
And as you're walking, it's still bright, like the colors of the marsh are still visible. I think it would be kind of different in the like forest surrounding the marsh has a bit more darkness in it than the forest that you're walking through. Like the trees are a lot more closely packed, and so looking out there as you walk, it might be hard to see things if you wanted to look in there to try to see anything. The marsh, the far edges of the marsh kind of are dark because the trees themselves are almost leaning in over top of the marsh. It feels kind of like claustrophobic to a point, right? Just because like most of Isethel is very open despite it being in a forest, but this place feels closed off from the rest of that. Like it's even down this really big hill and like in a little recessed valley, right? And just like closed off a bit, I think.
This is
right.
This is Isathel's least favorite place.
And as you're walking on this boardwalk, where did you want to go? In the middle of the marsh and closest to you is that big beaver lodge looking thing. It's immense, like just a huge mound. And then at the very far end of the marsh, there was little houses and stuff that had torchlight. But where do you want to go?
Where do we think Ferdinand would most likely be?
Do you know anything about like marsh witches?
Nope. I mean, maybe I would have if I didn't throw that book out of the window that one time, but...
Oh my god.
If I actually read that book.
So
I mean, if this person is a marsh witch, then wouldn't they be within the marsh, which is that beaver mound right there?
I was about to say you're not going back in the marsh.
The beaver
'cause I
mound
didn't-
is attached to like these boardwalks,
mean-
just to be clear. It's not like out in the middle of the marsh alone.
Yeah, didn't Selfie say
Maybe.
like they like Ferdinand was like very recently back, like they don't have like a permanent lodging in that case, right?
It does sound like she might be in a beaver dam then.
Unless their house was nearby and they were coming back to visit.
Let's
Well,
go
I mean-
investigate the beaver hut, I guess?
What
Yeah,
if
let's try the
that
lodge.
was their old house and then they left because, things, and then now that they're back, they just moved back to their house. Vacation, They went on a vacation
Okay.
and they're
Yeah.
like,
Well, the beaver dam's closer, right? So we can do the beaver dam, and if Ferdinand's not there, then we do the houses?
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
cool.
And so as you walk across this creaky, wibbly wobbly boardwalk, raised high above the marsh, up to this beaver dam, you see as you approach it, you feel the warmth, right? Like it's been snowing this entire time. You guys have been out in the cold for probably like 6 hours at this point, with like the walk
Fun.
from the portal to Pitter and then from Pitter over to here. It's been a long and cold day so far. And you guys had like an entire day of classes before this, so it's just like frick, a long day. And as you approach this big beaver dam, sat happily in the middle of the marsh, you feel this heat radiating from it. You smell a delicious scent of like freshly baked pies wafting out through the windows, and
you found her.
You
We
hear like
found her!
clink. You hear clinking of glasses from inside, but no one talking or anything. Just like the sound of people or things, glassware being moved about. And as you stand on the precipice of this big beaver dam, there's a hand-painted sign attached to the front of it over top of this circular wooden door. And it seems to read Lodge of the L. And then there's another newer sign that's like boarded over whatever that one word was. And now it just says Lost. And then at the very end, like almost underneath, it's not like it was painted over, so the word is very clearly still written under there, but someone just boarded a new thing that says Lost onto here, so underneath it's like L, and then the sign, and then NS at the very end, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's
Okay.
an unknown word under
Yeah.
there that is
Yeah.
L and then something
L
ends in
something
NS.
something NS, right? And the word Lost has been affixed on top, so it's now called the Lodge of the Lost. It's not called the Lodge of the Lostens, but, and who wants to reach for this big doorknob? It looks like a Hobbit door, just to put context, right? Like
Oh.
one of those
Chef
big
kiss,
circular
beautiful.
doors. There's a doorknob in the very center. Who wants to reach for it?
He's at the front of the group because I know I'm at the back.
I think Winsler was leading the way.
I shall open the door.
Okay. Winsler, as you reach out your tiny gnomish hand and touch on this wooden, rough-surfaced doorknob, you all hear a frightful sound from above. That
And rocks
sounds
fall,
like
and you die.
that sounds
You have
like
failed the first test.
a shattering of, or not a shattering, like the slicing of meat almost. Like that. It's just not a good, pleasant
Oh.
sound, and not something you'd expect to be this loud. And you hear this from above, which might cause your eyes to raise up to the sky. Windsor, your hand is still firmly on this doorknob. And in the sky, you see a large, long, serpentine dragon with antlers rush through a rip in space. And then you hear a loud snap as that portal closes behind it, as Shimpem has left the plane. And slowly, a lot of the color in the sky kind of fades away. And it gets a lot darker in the marsh. To the point where you cannot see the molehill where you had initially entered the marsh from. And like the exterior edge of the marsh that I was describing as kind of dark is now like pitch black as the snow falls on you and you stand in front of this beautiful beaver lodge.
God decided, fuck this place, I'm out.
And that's where we'll end this episode, folks.
What the fuck?
Carla,
shit.
Carla, could you give us an outro, please? And thank you.
Me again?
Yeah.
Well, that's today's episode. Everyone, Shimpen's gone.
God has abandoned us.
Thank you all for listening to today's episode. Please leave a rating and a review on our iTunes or anywhere you listen to this podcast. It helps us out a lot and helps us know what it is that you want from us or something. Next is we also have Instagram and Twitter at Trials and Trebs. Please give us a follow. And there's some cool stuff in there. On our Instagram, you can see a bunch of art and teasers before the podcast airs on Wednesday, or before the episode airs on Wednesdays.
The podcast airs every Wednesday.
Only this Wednesday.
And we also have a Patreon. Do you want to be a patron? Be a joiner of our Patreon, and you can donate money to us if you want, if you have money for it, only if you can, to help support this podcast so that we can continue serving you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that outro, Carla. We hope to serve you again next week. See you then, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
15 love.
Bye.
That was a good fucking joke.
This is gonna be a short episode.